Let's get ready to story!
It's right here. Okay, I like what you've done here. I'm going to screw the 3 words. I'm just going to say one phrase. It's what tuned me into this man. The law and you. Judge Tom Munley. Come on up, make way for him.
I do need help getting up at my age. But anyway, I looked, Sissy O'Brien works for me. She's my secretary. She asked me to speak here, and it says an evening of life-altering moments. So I'm going to tell you about a life-altering moment that I had. I was 19 years old. I come from a family in Jessup. My mom and dad had 5 children. My dad is, and this is the truth, my dad is 100% Irish. My mom is 100% Italian. Her maiden name is Albini. So the 5 kids, we had a maid growing up in our house. My father was a football fanatic, and that's what my story is going to be about. But we had a maid growing up in our life because the 5 kids, we had an Italian mother who never went out, and I had an Irish father who never came home. I swear to God, that's the truth. But, so my father was big into football. There's a football stadium named after my dad, Jack Munley Memorial Stadium in New Jersey. So we all played football. So after I graduated from high school, I went down south. I played football for 1 year, and I didn't like it. I liked it in high school. I didn't like it in college. I didn't think I was big enough to play football, so I transferred. I didn't want to play football anymore, but I transferred to a school around here, and they still put me in the football dormitory with all the football players who played football at this university. And in this dormitory with me was a young man. I was 19, he was 20. He was about 5, I'm 5'11", so he was about 5, he's about 5'7". And his first name is Bobby. And because we were in the football dormitory, like, we weren't popular because we weren't playing football. I didn't play football in this dormitory, and neither did Bobby. So the football players sort of used to, I told them, I said, I don't want to play football anymore. I don't care if I'm in this dorm, I'm not playing. And Bobby used to say the same thing to the football players. And the football players were sort of, I swear to God, one night I remember sitting in my room and some football player put his helmet on, and he put his helmet right through my door, like just to make, you know, just to scare me or something, I don't know. But anyway, to make a long story short, Bobby, who was short, they used to call him Water Boy. That's what his name. Hey, Water Boy, come over here. Hey, Water Boy, come over. He never said a word. He always stayed quiet. And one day in my room, we were all in the room, Bobby and I, who was basically my only friend, the football players came in, and they said, hey, Water Boy, look, we're going to show you something, we're going to do something. So this one football player, I'll never forget, he was a tackle, his first name was Jack. He took his shoes off and he did, you know when you put your feet up against the door and then you go down and up and down and up? He did about 7 or 8 of them, and he said, hey, Water Boy, why don't you see if you could do these? And he looked at him and said, I can't do any of them. He said, I can't do any. So Jack started to laugh at him, and that was it. He took this, Bobby, my friend, took abuse for day in and day out for months. One weekend he said to me, he said, Tom, I'm going home to Philadelphia. Will you come and meet my mom? I said, oh, Bobby, I'd love to come and meet your mom. That'd be wonderful. So we drove to Philly from college, and I met his mom, and we're sitting around, and we're talking, and his mom said to Bobby, Bobby, why don't you go out and get some pretzels and potato chips and some soda for us, and we'll have a party and we'll watch television. So Bobby went out, and I was sitting there with his mom, And his mom looked at me and said, "No, I'm 19. She said, "How's Bobby doing in college, Tom?" I said, "Oh, he's doing all right." She said, "You know, he transferred from another college." I said, "I know he did." She said, they didn't like him at the other college too much, and too many people made fun of him, so he moved to the college where he's with you now. And I said, why do people do that to him? Can you ask? Because he seems like such a wonderful guy. She said, because, do they say anything about Bobby not playing football? And I said, yeah. I said, yes, they do. I said, they sort of make fun of him. I didn't say that they called him water boy or anything. I didn't want to do that. But I said, yeah, they sort of make fun of him because she said, come here a minute, I want to show you something. So we went over to a room, and she opened the closet, and she pulled out 4 or 5 scrapbooks full of Bobby and his football exploits, probably being the best football player that ever came out of Philadelphia. Now here's a kid that never said a word, and he let them call him a water boy. So he never said a word. On the way home, and he got home from buying soda and pretzels, and he said, "Mom, what are you doing?" And she said, "I'm just showing Tommy some of your yearbooks, some of your scrapbooks with all your articles." And he said, "Mom, put the books away." So she put the books away. Never said another word about it. We drove back to college the next day, and it was killing me. And I said to him, I said, "Bobby," now I was 19, he was 20. I said, "Bobby, why did you let all these guys make fun of you in college, call you a water boy, make fun of you, say that you're a weakling and everything else? You're the greatest football player that ever came out of Philadelphia, according to what I read." And he looked at me and he said, "I know what I am, Tom. I don't have to prove anything to anybody." And that's what he said. And that changed my life. And I was 19, he was 20. We went back to the dormitory. And he said, "Tom, don't go through your life pleasing other people. Get to know who you are." And this kid's like, it was philosophy. He was 20 years old. And we got in the room. I went to his room to tell him I was in shock. And he took his shoes off. I don't know why he did this, but he took his shoes off and did, you know, that handstand? He did 25 of them. And he stopped, and he just went like this. He said, "I have to study now, Tom. Good night." And I walked out of there in shock. And the moral of the story I want to tell all of you is, you're great people. I could tell, I know you're great people, you're wonderful people. Don't go through life trying to please other people. Know who you are. Thank you.